hey guys. This episode's gonna be coming out a little bit late. A little bit. It is currently Wednesday. We did record this on Monday. Unfortunately, we didn't actually record it. We just hit play and didn't record any audio.
We thought we were recording.
We thought we were.
To the best of our ability.
So currently we are using a piano as a table in a very small closed room to get this to you.
Room. I'm inside. Eric over here.
Pretty close. So this is going to be a little bit condensed. We're going to try to get through a lot, but we do only have about 25 minutes.
Maximum.
Like at the very most, we have 25 minutes.
So we're just going to speed this down. First of all, right off the bat, these things will be coming out on Wednesdays from now on.
Except for this one and the last one.
Except for this one. Don't listen about this one, okay?
This will come out hopefully on Thursday.
Yes. Next week, Wednesday. Be ready for it. So
we're going to get right into it. Picks.
NFL games.
Thursday. Hopefully the game hasn't happened yet when you hear this.
It's tomorrow.
Colts at Patriots. I'm going to pick the Patriots because I think they're just the better team altogether. And not altogether. I think maybe the Colts might have a slightly better defense. The front seven, they are statistically better this year.
At the minute, they're definitely a little bit better.
We'll see at the end of the year if that still holds true.
Yep.
But
for sure.
At the moment, they seem to have a better defense. But other than that, and I don't think it's super far and away better. I just think it's a tad bit better. I think the Patriots, they have a better coaching staff. I think altogether, I think they're going to win this.
I'm actually going to pick the Colts just to upset this one because you got to pick a few a week. Upset never goes the right way. So I'm going to say the Colts can pull this one out. Simple, easy.
Moving on to the next game, Titans at the Bills. I'm going to go Titans.
No brainer. This is a Titans win.
Yeah, I think the Bills win is an anomaly, and it might be their only win of the year.
Very possible that happens. Yes.
I think Josh Allen throws at least 2 picks in this game.
And the Titans defense isn't even that spectacular. I'm just not impressed with the Bills offense.
I'm betting on bad decision making and poor
coaching. When the Bills scored 0 points in 2 games out of 4 this year.
At least so.
That makes me think their offense might not be very good.
Yeah. There's some question marks. Moving on to Giants at Panthers. How'd the Giants do last week? Was that fun for you?
Put up 18.
Put up 18? Is that a high?
No, actually. Yeah, it might be.
It is. I think it's a high.
No, they scored 27 against the Texans.
Weird.
Yeah. Dude, they happen all the time.
Picking the Panthers in this one.
Yep, Panthers. I can't root for the Giants anymore. From here on out, I'm just going to pick the opposite.
You should probably just root for a draft pick at this point.
Hey, we can maybe get a QB. Get top 2.
You could have last year.
Oh, we could have. But then we wouldn't have Saquon, dude.
Oh, yeah.
All right, next game.
Next game is Dolphins at Bengals. I don't think this one's hard either. I think the Bengals are going to challenge.
I think
for the
Dolphins are, probably about to start showing who they actually are.
Yeah.
And that they weren't really a 3-0 team. That they were just kind of like a team.
I think last week's game was sort of a trailer to the rest of the season for the Dolphins. I think they're going to fall apart.
Ryan Tannehill, is he good?
No, hasn't been yet. I think he had a QBR of 3 or something. Brock Osweiler was their best offensive player in the game. Tells you all you need to know.
That's fun.
It's super fun. And I think the Bengals are going to challenge to win the division this year. I think they're actually good. I think it's going to be Bengals-Ravens.
I think the only way is if the Steelers just don't start getting their act together right now.
They haven't yet.
Yeah.
I'm going off what I see. I don't know if the Steelers have it this year.
I can't say that they're an amazing team on the field, which is all you really need to be.
Yeah.
Next game.
Right.
On to the Ravens and Browns.
Yep. Don't think this one's super hard. Baker Mayfield, 4 turnovers last game.
2 of them weren't his fault. You remember? No. Still 4.
Still 4. 4 is a lot. 4 loses games.
Hey, did you know one of those was a pick 6, actually?
Yeah. So
kind of an important.
They lost in overtime? That sounds like a 1-score game to me.
To the Raiders?
Could have made the difference.
The worst defense in the entire league.
And now they're playing the Ravens, who I think are 3rd in defense.
Yes. And, they have, I wouldn't say elite, but I would say very good linebacking core.
Joe Flacco, 8 touchdowns, 2 interceptions on the year. He's being pressured by backup quarterback. I guess that's all he needed to play well. He's been pretending this whole time.
Yeah. He wants that contract. He wants to get his elite card.
I think when athletic quarterbacks are behind Joe Flacco, he gets scared. Tyrod Taylor, he won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson, he's playing well. So, we'll see where it goes.
Their team is a good team right now.
Very good.
Ravens are going to pull that one out.
I think so, too. Next game, Packers at Lions. I'm taking the Packers here, and it's sort of like I think Aaron Rodgers is going to will this one.
Mm-hmm. He seems to do it every year. When he plays against the Lions, he kind of just like...
I think Aaron Jones should get a larger role.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's clearly the most gifted runner of the football for them. I'm not sure how he is at pass protection and catching the ball. They have, Ty Montgomery's a wide receiver.
Turned into one back. Jamal Williams is still there.
He's still there. I think he has 2 or 1 total runs in his career over 15 yards.
Yeah.
So, if that tells you anything. He has started more than 2 games.
Yeah.
So, that usually you want that to be a higher number. But
hey, how about that Kenyon Drake, though? How about him?
On the Dolphins?
Yeah. He starts every single game, and he's not running very well at all.
No, he's not. I think it's because his body isn't... I just don't think he can withstand, like, a number 1 running back.
Mm-hmm.
Just the load on the body. I think that's what's happening there. So, I'm going to pick the Packers.
I'm picking the Lions for that one. I think Matt Stafford's going to, fourth quarter comeback, he's going to pull it out.
I think the key to this game might be who can run the ball better. Lions have a bad run defense, and then the Lions against the Packers, maybe Kerryon Johnson can bring something. You don't want Aaron Rodgers to have so much time on the clock.
I think Kerryon Johnson could run for, I'm not saying he's going to run for 100.
Yeah, it's not the Patriots defense.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Crazy, right? No, but I'm saying that I think the Packers front seven is definitely kind of hurting right now when they lose Muhammad Wilkerson.
I think
he's stuck.
He's a good player. Missing him. You can't just immediately say next man up.
Right. There is no next man. They're changing their schemes now. Yeah. But I'm gonna say Lions on that one.
All right, next game. This might be the best game of the week.
I think it's gonna be a low to mid scoring, very close game.
Yeah. And the Chiefs did pull it out Monday. They beat the Broncos, and Pat Mahomes kind of proved all the doubters that he can do it. He's down by 10.
He still has doubters.
Obviously.
I've been in arguments all week about Pat Mahomes being the real deal. And they're saying, no, he's not. No way. And I say, you crazy? He just played against a very good defense, and he won that game for them.
Yeah, 10 points down in the fourth. He's a leader.
Yeah.
And because of that, I think the Chiefs are going to beat the Jags here. I think it's going to be close.
I think it's going to be really close, but I think the Jags D is enough to limit Pat Mahomes, and the Chiefs D isn't as stellar as it needs to be to limit Blake.
Chiefs defense are number 1 on third down this year.
But the Jags...
That's it, though. Other than that, they're terrible.
Yeah, they're kind of...
But the Leonard Fournette injury, I think, might hurt him. I know T.J. Yeldon's a good running back. He's not Leonard Fournette. He's been filling
the role pretty well.
Yeah, he's pretty good. Blake Bortles is looking comfortable out there and confident, which is very odd. A strange thing to see.
Is this year 2 Blake Bortles or year 8? What is this for Blake Bortles?
I don't know. Yeah, it's a lot of mediocrity mixed in.
He looks average at best.
And I suppose I'm just waiting for Blake Bortles to be who he is. Yeah. I'm not even sure who that is anymore. But
I don't know.
I'm gonna pick the Chiefs mainly because Blake Bortles is gonna be relied upon, and I'm still not convinced he can do it.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm definitely just gonna ride out the Jags on this one. This is a ride or die.
Next game, Broncos at Jets. Broncos coming off a tough loss. I still believe in them to win this game. I think the Broncos are going to win.
Yep.
I think they're better at quarterback for right now. Now, I'm saying Case Keenum is a better NFL starter.
With the line being 10 times better than the Jets, and the quarterback being
he's
even,
figuring it out.
He's getting comfortable, which is nice to see. He almost had a game-winning touchdown pass. He kind of overthrew, which is kind of hard to see. He kind of ruined that game for him, but Broncos gonna pull this one out.
Yeah, there's a reason the Jets have $60 million in cap. It's because they're not paying a lot of good players.
They're not paying any good players, really.
Yeah.
Who do they have on their team?
They have Leonard Williams. I think that's the one huge contract. They signed Jermaine Johnson. I think.
No, they were good. Yeah, they had Jermaine Johnson. They got the corners
Claiborne?
Yeah, Marius Claiborne.
I don't know. That's pretty much it for notable.
They have 2 good safeties.
Yes, they do.
Both second-year safeties this year. And they have a good linebacker. Mario Williams, I think his name is.
Demario Davis.
Demario Davis, that's what it is. Sorry. My bad, guys.
At least you named another NFL player.
At least I got the Mario, right? Yeah. Mario, here we are.
Yeah, I'm still picking the Broncos.
Yeah, I think the Broncos are easily going to pull that one out.
Next game, a must-win for both teams. Falcons at Steelers. This is sort of the tale of one team can't finish a game, the other team can't even show up collectively.
Yep, to actually play.
The
like,
game.
I don't think he knows where his team is. He's like, wait a minute.
Levin's like, are you
I'm
sure?
supposed to have 11 people. And he's like, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Like, no.
I think the Steelers might figure some stuff out. I think they're going to win because they have to. I mean, the Falcons also have to win. I just think the Steelers sort of at home, Big Ben, I think he'll play well. I think maybe Matt Ryan might shrink a little bit, even though he's having a pretty good year.
Yeah, stat-wise, he's doing very well.
Yeah, I'm not like a Matt Ryan hater. I just think, there are games where he plays a little underwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
I think this might be one of them. That's why I'm picking the Steelers to win.
I think the Falcons can really pull this one out. I think this is going to be maybe a high-scoring, close game. I think it'll be a one-score game.
I'm not going to be surprised either way. Whoever wins, I'm just going to pick the Steelers for this one.
I just think the Falcons, to compete in their division, they have to win this game, and they know that. So I think they're going to come out and give everything. That's true.
So. Next game, Raiders at Chargers. Even though the Raiders won, I don't think they're a good team. I think Derek Carr is having a good year. And every game they lost, they were winning at halftime.
Their defense is the same.
Yeah.
It's
the
still
defense
really,
is the same defense. Their biggest problem, weirdly enough, is they can't rush the passer.
Yeah.
You wouldn't think that, considering they lost Khalil Mack. That's weird.
If they only had, like
a
defensive player of the year.
Player in the league right now on the defensive side.
It's worse that they trade him away, and then he just goes on this MVP run.
Yeah, literally is incredible.
He's better now than he was on the Raiders.
Yeah. I think they are 1-3. I think the Raiders are a little bit better than people are saying, just because I know they've been leading in all the games they lost at halftime. That does say something about them. It says they can't finish, which you need to do in the NFL.
It's kind of important.
It's very important. So I don't think they're going to win. I think this is going to be a tough season for the Raiders.
Yeah, I think this is a 6-10 season again.
Yeah.
I think John Gruden's kind of overpaid a little bit.
Yeah.
Over years, they kind of gave him too many there.
Gave him too many years.
They're like, hey, we haven't seen you coach in, 10?
How about that many years?
Let's just do 10 right off the bat. Let's see what happens. Bring us a Super Bowl.
And as for the Chargers, I think Phillip Rivers is playing well. I think Melvin Gordon's playing well. I think Austin Eckler, the backup's a good backup.
The only thing I'm worried about in this offense is Keenan Allen. He's a stud, but he's not really looking like a stud as of now.
Maybe he's being bothered by injury. I'm not sure.
I haven't really seen anything much about.
Luckily, they have the two Williams, Mike and Tyrell.
Tyrell got hurt, actually.
Oh, he did?
He did. They said he's out indefinitely.
Oh, that's always what you want to hear.
Yeah, that's what I love about it.
Could mean 3 minutes, though, indefinitely.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Probably doesn't.
But he did. I think it said an ankle issue. That was a big deal.
And I think it's going to be sort of a strength against weakness.
Yeah, I think the Chargers are going to pull this one away. I think they're going to kind of blow this one out.
I think every time they should be favored by about as many extra points less than they're going to have to take. So, if they're going to score 6 touchdowns, you should take 6 points off the Chargers' total score, because obviously, no matter what, the kicker's going to miss.
Yeah, every single time.
Yeah.
Why can't they just sign a kicker?
Well, the thing is, who is it? Caleb Sturgis is their kicker now? He was the Eagles starter before he got injured and replaced by Jake Elliott. He was
a stud now.
Yeah, and, as a career, he was known as a very reliable. There was no reason to replace him, and he's a starting caliber. I think it might be just whoever they sign is going to be bad.
It's kind of like the Browns. They just have
at what point are they just going to start going for 2?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Which that's what I would do.
As a fantasy aspect, I'll take it.
Go for it. If it's 4th and 2, go for it. If it's a long field goal, don't even think about it. I think a thing to come in here is that I don't think they have a good head coach, though. I think Anthony Lynn is bad.
I think there's just a lot of untapped potential in that offense. I think they could score 40 points a game in the right system, but they don't.
Moving on to the next game, Vikings at Eagles, another candidate for Game of the Week. Vikings, their defense didn't look good, but their offense did against the Rams.
I'm going to say that defense is still elite.
I'm going to venture a guess that you can't have that many good players and be that bad.
Just a one-time thing.
I think people might be a little bit worried that they couldn't do it against the Bills either with their defense. Mm-hmm. I think that's another anomaly. Their defense isn't helped when, especially against the Bills, they did have interceptions they had to deal with. There was a pick six. That's part of it. He did throw other interceptions, so they were put in bad situations.
Also, the Rams
and
have
then
the best
they went
offense.
up, and the Rams have the most creative head coach they're going up against a good quarterback. He has
great wide receivers.
An absolute
unit of wide receivers. And the offensive player of the year from last year. That's going to be a tough game. You're not going to limit them to 7 points.
Like keeping them under 40 is sort of like good job.
Right, because not a lot of teams are doing that this year.
I mean, who have the Chargers had to play on offense? Like their defense had to play. They've had to play the Chiefs and the Rams. I mean, that's tough. I don't know if we can judge them out of those two games. Yeah. So. I said Chargers.
You sure did.
I just started talking about the Chargers.
Slightly confused.
I got really confused there. They said it. The Vikings haven't played them. I meant the Vikings have played the Packers and then the Rams, not the Chiefs.
Yeah.
But
all right, now we're tying it back together.
We're tying it back together.
Now the teams are correct.
How the tables have turned. All right.
Yeah, I think we're both going with Vikings.
I'm going Vikings here. I think the Eagles. I don't know. They lost their offensive coordinator. Their offense didn't look the same. Surprise, surprise. I think people might have assumed. I mean, it's the same thing with Kyle Shanahan leaving the Falcons. I mean,
it's a huge loss.
And it's the first year.
If the Rams lose Sean McVay, they're not the same team.
No.
And that's what people don't understand about that is the Eagles have lost
a really good coach.
A very talented coach.
Like looking back on this, I think years from now we're going to say, how did the Eagles have that many good coaches in one system? I think it's hard to do that.
Yeah, I'd be like, wait a minute.
So I think it might take halfway into the season before they figure out what to do on offense. I think they still have a good head coach. I think their defensive coach is making bad decisions. I think you need to pay Jalen Mills at safety. I think he's too slow to cover fast receivers. I think he'd be a great safety. He's really good at tackling. Mm-hmm. He has all the attributes to be a good safety. He's tall. I think other than that, what's happening with them getting the quarterback? I feel like they're not getting great pressure.
They have the rush to do it, and they're just not doing it.
They're just not doing it. Moving on. Terrible game. This is going to be quick. Cardinals at 49ers. I'm picking the 49ers.
I'm picking the Cardinals.
And that's it. Just Neither way. Does it matter? No.
Because this game...
To no other team but themselves.
Neither of these teams are going to be playoff contenders.
This has no implications other than draft order, and I don't think this game matters at all. No. And I plead, do not watch this.
Yes.
This is going to be a waste of time. Spend time with family and friends over this game.
Maybe check into it 8 hours after the game, just to see how
David
Johnson did.
Look at the 30 seconds of highlights they scraped together.
Uh-huh.
It'll just be like a toss play.
It's like Matt
Breida
running
yards.
for like 8 yards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sums it up. Next game, Rams at Seahawks. I think this has the potential to be an embarrassing blowout. I think the Rams are going to win.
I don't think it's just the potential. I think this is going
Earl Thomas is gone. He was playing like the best safety in the league for the first 4 weeks. Breaks his leg.
He was traded.
If only.
Oh, yeah. Rams.
Yeah, the Rams are going to win.
Rams are going to swamp them.
Next one, Cowboys at Texans. This could be an interesting matchup just because both the teams are mediocre.
Very mediocrely to low
should be
end.
Close.
And Zeke is kind of dealing with like a
it was
ankle issue?
I think it was
knee. No, it was knee.
Yeah, he's not feeling 100% right now.
No.
I'm picking the Texans, I think, also because Deshaun Watson is kind of looking like what we thought he could look like. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's taken him this long to get used to it after the injury.
Yeah. I'm going to go with a little order of operations here and say that the Cowboys beat the Giants, who beat the Texans. So I'm going to say the Cowboys are going to just pull this one out. It's going to be a clutch field goal like it was last week, but it's going to be the Cowboys pulling this one right out.
Next game.
Final
game, Monday night, Redskins at Saints. I know the Redskins pulled up an upset against the Packers. I still think the Saints are going to win this one.
I mean, the only way I'm seeing is if maybe Adrian Peterson takes a little bit at heart.
Yeah, if they can control this game with AP and have, like, he needs to go over 100 yards rushing and, like, a touchdown at least for them to have a chance in this game.
Easily. And that's what they need.
And this is Mark Ingram's comeback game. Not
that
they
it is?
need him at all.
I haven't even really factored that in.
Yeah. So that gives them, that gives them a little smash on the goal line if they're ever actually down there before they score.
That gives them a smash at any point.
Yeah.
Because they will give him probably 50.
And if you look at it, in the red zone, they could put 2 running backs in the backfield and they have Michael Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
So you really don't.
Then they still got Ted Ginn Jr. on the other side,
fast,
who's old
and tall,
but a good receiver. He's still a target.
He's a veteran. He knows what to do.
Exactly.
I think the Saints are going to win this, and I think it's going to be by 10 points at least.
Yeah, I could say the same. I think the Saints are going to pull that out.
Moving on
to the next segment.
To the next segment. We have 5 minutes, so this is going to have to be real cut and dry.
We're going to zoom right through this. We might edit in a little bit more later on, so there might be a little cut.
If we can, we will. If we can't, There's always next week.
The best value
of
time.
So right now we're going to do rapid fire. MVP of the league at the quarter of the season. Who do we think it's going to be? I'm going to pick Jared Goff. I think he's going to continue to play well. I think they're going to go minimum 13-3 this year. And I think Sean McVay is going to make such a good offense that Jared Goff is going to win the MVP. I know Todd Gurley might eat into a lot of touches.
Yep.
I still think Jared Goff is going to win this.
I'm going to go almost the same route here with quarterback. And I was really looking at this earlier, was that somebody was making the case that Khalil Mack could possibly make a run for the MVP, but I don't see that happening.
They just don't respect defense enough.
Yeah, exactly. They don't really account for defensive studs like Khalil Mack. But I'm going to go with Patrick Mahomes. I think he might slump a little bit. He might get a little bit down in these next few games probably. That's what the Chiefs like to do. Like, 6 games that are hot, and then after that they
they run out of plays.
They're just like, are we making new plays? Nope, same ones. I think they'll slump, but I think Patrick Mahomes has what it takes to kind of push them and really just keep extending that offense like they are, really booking it down the field like they are.
All right, so that's going to have to do it for this week, unless we can hopefully come back and record a little bit more. Next week, if we don't get to it this week later, we're going to talk about our picks for Defensive and Offensive Player of the Year and Rookie Defensive and Offensive Player of the Year. We're also going to answer some questions and a reaction to the Conor McGregor Khabib fight with a special guest, hopefully that knows some stuff on the topic that can break it down.
Yep.
All to come. Thank you for listening. Hopefully there is a little bit more.
Edit it in. If not,
so it'll seem weird that I'm talking about this now.
Right.
Even though
this hopefully is still going to come right at the end. So,
hopefully.
We'll be okay. All right. Well,
thanks for listening. Check in next Wednesday if we can finally get our stuff together.
If we really pull it together.
We're going to buckle down and do it for you this time, but
it's going to take a lot.
Thanks for listening.